What's up, gamers? So yeah, man, constant drama going on consistently, right? With this tariffs and all this other stuff going on. You just got a lot going on, but hey, that's how it is. So here we have Mr. Takashi Mochizuki. If you don't know, he's a um interesting analyst, an inside guy you want over in Japan to give you information about things. I've been looking at his work for years now, going all the way back to even you know, early PS4 days. He's very reliable. So his data here shows that Nintendo allocating almost the entire made in Vietnam game consoles to the US, which is in stark contrast with months before, as it tries to find a way to get around Trump tariff on goods from China. Story is free for a week. Because a lot of people are wondering what the hell is Nintendo doing since they actually canceled the pre-orders in the United States of America and in Canada. And I got some answers for you guys. So there's enough stuff gathered up now so that we can figure out what the hell is going on. And are we going to see them jack up the price of the console because of that? I'm going to say a hard no from what I've gathered now. I wanted to wait so that I could see what's going to happen. Well, from everything I'm gathering, and we're going to get to this article here too. We got the Bloomberg article right here. We also have some other stuff right here to give us some answers. So if y'all didn't know, there's been some negotiations going on. There's also been a pre-order halt um, with the 90-day window for tariffs. Not only is there a 90-day window, but what Nintendo's doing, and we're going to read some of this, is one of their main bases in Vietnam, which kind of got hit now. They're going to be importing millions of consoles into the United States of America out of there so that they can avoid that, just to have it sitting there in the USA territory. Therefore, they're not hit with the tariffs. And with there being a 90-day pause, that makes things more reasonable. Like, for example, if we go right here, Nintendo Switch 2 US price is unlikely to rise if Trump tariffs remain at 10%, on top of the 90-day pause. So we got to get two answers. One, is it going to affect the Switches right now in America? No. I'm going to tell you that right now because it doesn't make any sense. You're not manufacturing anything to be taxed. You've already done the manufacturing. It's done. There was no tariffs in effect to affect that. So they can't jack the price up. If they do, they will tell you something. That would be insanity. I think that would be suicide for them to do that. Definitely now. Now, we're going to get to what happens after that 90-day window releases. So that's why it says tariffs remain at 10%. Nintendo is reportedly importing millions of Switch 2 units from Vietnam. Key right there, y'all. They're importing. So they're not looking for ways to jack up the prices if that's the case. If that was the case, they would just leave it there and be like, oh, let's just take the cut, right? And just jack up the price. Yeah, that would be stupid on both ends. That'd be two dumb decisions. No, get it out of there. You already did the work and put it over here. That way you can keep selling millions of consoles at $449 and not have to worry about jacking up the price for the rest of the year. Just to let you guys know. And because that Mario Kart bundle is not going to be there forever if people were thinking about it. You know what I mean? That could be something that gets increased in the future with the base model. But we're going to get to that in a second. Now, it says where 46% tariff has been threatened. And I've been telling people that. People were thinking it was the number made up. I said, no. Now you see that the 46% tariff in Vietnam is that huge. That means any chips that they would get in the future, when that hits, is going to be affecting them at that time. And this is what they were thinking about adjusting to. And you also couldn't see that coming, is that he was going to do a 90-day window for the tariffs. Because people are beginning to reason. You see what I'm saying? All this stuff you can't see coming. So that's where that halt came from. All right. The US price of Nintendo Switch 2 is going to remain $450 if Trump global tariffs remain at 10%. This is after they lift. Right now, it has to stay $450 regardless. Last week, Trump introduced a blanket 10% tariff on all imports for countries like China, Vietnam, and Japan, which he called among the worst offenders, getting larger tariffs of 54%, 46%, and 24% respectively. Since most of Nintendo imports into the US come from Vietnam and Cambodia, because this is an alternative for them to not get hit for China. They didn't expect that to happen. His decision to apply a 46% tariff on Vietnam will potentially have an effect on the price of the hardware. Because this is MSRP, not digital. Digital is what they want to do. They're doing that because they want to do that. Most notably, the upcoming Switch 2. As a result, last week, Nintendo said it was delaying Switch 2 pre orders in the US and later Canada because they kind of aligned together. So it could access market conditions due to the country's turbulent financial situation. However, while Trump has since increased China's tariffs up to 125%, he has decided to pause all other hikes for 90 days. That includes Vietnam and all that. So what Nintendo is doing is during this process, since there's a pause and there's no anything in effect, they're getting it the hell out of there with and they're mass manufacturing and trying to get as many as they can over here to avoid that. And they're thinking that is even after the pause, if the 10%, because I'm doing this for people so everybody can understand how this works, because I know you guys hate this stuff, but I'm doing it for you, making it a little bit fun too, being exciting, talking like this, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's boring. So if the 10% applies to all other affected countries, including Vietnam, then there's no reason for them to jack it up. This 46% is what he's doing to see if they're going to comply. It doesn't mean that this was going to happen when it's in effect. That's why everything got delayed. We're going to see if people are going to reason, if they're going to be assholes and jack up the prices over here when you've already made billions and billions of dollars. And if they all reason, then it's only 10%. That's a possibility. We don't know. But we have to see. But it says, according to a new report at Bloomberg, Trump's decision to pause the hikes means it's likely that Nintendo will keep the U.S. price at $450. At least until the 46% kicks in Vietnam, which is a base they're in. One of their main bases, and Cambodia. It's not like they can just say, oh, okay, well, let me just make a new base in America and start manufacturing millions and millions of chips and get the shipping over here. You're going to have to spend hundreds of millions or at least a couple billion dollars to do that. Just to let you guys know. That's not cheap to do. So they can't just switch bases and start manufacturing there. It takes more time than you would think. So speaking to the publication, Bernstein analyst Robin Zhu said if the tariffs stay at 10%, they can keep the price at $450 after the 90-day window has unpaused. So this next 90 days, they don't have to delay anything. All they have to do is mass ship over here and just sell until that 90-day window is up. And then will the 46% stay, or where people reason and just get hit with the 10%? That's how it works, guys, in a bunch right there for y'all. Okay, at 450. But if it's at 46%, we could see the Switch go from $500 to $550, or to $500 and the 550 Mario Kart bundle, which won't be staying there forever openly, but we'll see it come back for Black Friday. The report states that Hosiden Corp, a Vietnamese assembler, which is one of the three main two Switch assemblers, see, it's China, it's Vietnam, it's Cambodia, has been shipping almost all of its stock to US since January. So they were planning ahead for this, as opposed to 11 and 66% over the course of the previous 12 months. It's believed that Nintendo is stockpiling millions of Switch 2 units in the US so they can have plenty in supply by the time the console is released on June 5th. Then it can analyze the situation should Trump's tariff hikes kick in come July, the 3-month window starting from today. So anybody worried about a price hike? It's not happening at launch. We don't think so. And we don't see them jacking up the price. And if that's going to come, it won't come till probably later on in the summer of this year. And let's hope that it doesn't happen. Everybody reasons and everything is okay. Ending everything right here. Last week, U.S. video game trade group, the Internet Entertainment Software Association, warned that trade tariffs imposed by U.S. President are going to have a real and detrimental impact on the games industry, especially if the hikes beyond 10% are also implemented. So, there we have it, y'all. There's our answer right there. And Bloomberg pretty much is going to tell you the same thing. And the 90-day pause on heightened tariffs for U.S. trading partners gives the Japanese company a chance to ramp up shipments of the Switch 2 to a market that accounts for more than a third of its sales. Right? Now, going over here, I want to explain the physical copies to people, how things work, and the answers that I've been getting lately. So we don't keep doing misinformation because there's nothing more annoying to me than misinformation. Let's read this very carefully. A Nintendo spokesperson confirmed that the physical Switch 2 Edition games have the original game and the upgrade pack on the same game card. There's no download code, there's no download required, and exclusively Switch 2 game cards, meaning the cards look different than the Switch 1. They're red. The Switch 2, the Switch 1 game cards are not red, and they will not work on Switch 1 consoles, which makes no sense. Be trying to get it to run settings and blow the damn machine up. Let's go down here. Are we ready for this? This is how it works. Stop listening to morons. The reason why I'm calling people morons is because you're giving people misinformation. People who are giving that information to the public. It's the same thing with the other crap. With people charging $90 for that, it's like, stop making up stuff that's not happening in the U.S. market. It doesn't exist over here. We want to give you the right information. Then you can decide how you want to react to it. But let's not make people react to false information. I can't stand that shit. However, what wasn't clear what was actually inside the game boxes. Remember this. So we sought clarification from Nintendo and received a comment. The main concern was that the box might only include the original Nintendo Switch game card, not the red one is Nintendo Switch 2, which they've showed you, because some people are slow, with the upgrade delivered as a download code. This would mean you couldn't resell, loan, or trade in the full game. That's not the case. Leaving you with just the base Switch version and an upgrade code in there. Thankfully, this doesn't seem to be the case. This is from a Nintendo representative. In a statement to Vox, a Nintendo spokesperson, not retards on Twitter, misinforming you, or YouTubers doing this for clicks, because they're making money now. Right? Like Dreamcast guy and them. The physical versions of Switch 2 Edition games. See this? Will include the original Switch game and its upgrade pack all on the same game card. Can we read that? They are exclusively Nintendo Switch 2 game cards with no download code. Alternatively, some publishers, not Nintendo, may release Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games as download codes in physical packaging with no game card. It has nothing to do with Nintendo. It's the publishers. Once again, nothing is more annoying to me than misplaced anger and blame from misinformation. It's because you just want to fucking grift. For Nintendo and Nintendo published games, the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition will include the entire game on the card. Did we read that? Their games will always include the physical copy with the upgrade and any DLC on there, with no download required. However, this may not be the case for other publishers. Can you read? So I just did it for you. You had some people complaining that the Breath of the Wild 2 didn't come with the expansion pack. When did they ever tell you that? When did it say plus expansion pack? Like when Kirby was when Kirby was $79.99 MSRP, it came with not only the upgrade pack, which is $9.99, but the expansion, which is $19.99. So you're getting the expansion $10 cheaper. You can go digital and just get the regular game. Let's say if it was on sale right now for $39, you could just grab Kirby. And that's it. And you can get the DLC separate. You don't have to get it. Breath of the Wild was always $59.99. It was never $59.99 with DLC. The Switch 2 Edition is the Breath of the Wild Switch 2 Edition. It says right there in the box. It doesn't say plus expansion pass. The fact that you people can't read blows my mind. Your own stupidity is your problem. What could they have done? They could have included that with the expansion pack and dropped the damn price. As I've said before, the problem with them is that they don't drop the price. But sitting there getting mad at them because you couldn't read is not their fault. Sitting there getting mad at them because these idiots are giving you misinformation that doesn't exist. It's not their fault. That's your problem for giving people misinformation, and that's your problem for swallowing the misinformation. I have to correct people because I have to say that's your problem. Their problem will be jacking the price up to $79.99. Their problem will be never doing a permanent price drop. But your problem is your misinformation, you sucking up the misinformation, and then you going and making riots and having people rage and getting to all this stuff like you're being like these people that are doing good work for humanity when you're being a bunch of idiots, blind leading the blind. Learn how to do your work correctly. And stop jumping the gun so early because you want views and you want money. Pretty obvious. But yet you're brainwashing people. Christ, wake up. So there we have it. It's all fixed here. Same thing that I told people. There's no $80 games in the USA besides Mario Kart. Everything else has some DLC in it and the upgrade pack included. So now you know that if you saw anything with no physical game in there and you tried to blame Nintendo for something that a publisher outside of Nintendo decided, to me, you are a moron. Because you have now placed the blame where it doesn't belong. Let's have the information be correct here. This is the point of being a content creator. Is that you give people the right information. Because that is annoying to me. If you're not doing it and you're being a shitty content creator and you are grifting, because you are deceiving people for something that is not real to make money off of them, right? Slurping, slapping bullshit. I think we know what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's not do that because that says a lot about you and nothing about this company here. Because you're trying to deceive people and make money off of them. So yeah, you're a swindler. There we have it. Let me know what y'all think about them not dropping the price. Because I'm going to tell you, more than likely, they're not dropping the price. They're not raising the price on the Switch 2. It's going to be $449. Now, depending on how things happen with the tariffs is how things will change in the future. So we have our answers now, guys. They're not raising the price. It's going to stay the same. If they would do that, that would be on them, not the tariffs. Digital can't be affected because it's MSRP manufacturing. And there is a chance of the prices getting jacked up in the future, but we have to see how this plays out. If it stays 10%, everything is fine. Gaming is not affected, and that's what I want because I want to see honest results. All right, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all have a great day. Peace out. Stay being genuine. Ponies, sit down. You think I don't notice that you're here watching? Oh, yeah, I know you're here. Peace out, y'all.